Hidden deep in California's harsh desert, far from modern conveniences and government control, there is a place like no other, Slab City. Known as the last free place in America, it is home to a unique mix of people, including wanderers, artists, outcasts, homeless individuals, and rebels looking to escape society's rules. There are no police, no government regulations, and no rent, just a self-reliant community built on creativity, survival, and a desire for freedom. But is it a utopia of absolute liberty, or does its lawlessness come at a price? Slab City's origins trace back to World War II when the U.S. Marine Corps built a training base in the California desert near San Diego. Named Camp Dunlap, it served as a field and anti-aircraft artillery training site from 1942 until its closure in 1956. Once the military abandoned the base, all that remained were the large concrete slabs that had supported its buildings. Over time, the site attracted a variety of people, initially veterans who had served at the base and later, drifters, RV travelers, and those seeking a place to live freely. In 1961, the Department of Defense handed the land over to California, which deemed it unnecessary and left it largely unregulated. By the 1980s, Slab City had gained attention, especially among RV enthusiasts looking for free camping. The community grew rapidly, and today, it remains a refuge for those who prefer an alternative way of life. One of Slab City's most famous landmarks is Salvation Mountain, a massive, colorful art installation created by Leonard Knight. Built over nearly 30 years using adobe, paint, and salvaged materials, it became a symbol of creativity and spiritual devotion. The mountain and Slab City itself gained wider recognition after being featured in the 2007 film Into the Wild. Beyond Salvation Mountain, the community thrives on art, music, and self-expression. Musicians, sculptors, and painters contribute to an ever-changing landscape of creativity, often repurposing discarded items into works of art. The Range, an open-air music venue, hosts live performances, adding to Slab City's vibrant and unconventional spirit. Despite its artistic energy and strong sense of independence, life in Slab City is not easy. The community consists of several groups, each with its own way of living. Snowbirds, seasonal visitors, often retirees, arrive in the winter to escape colder climates. Off-gridders embrace self-sufficiency, using solar panels, collecting rainwater, and building sustainable homes from salvaged materials. Others live in extreme poverty, relying on bartering, scavenging, and occasional outside support to survive. Without modern infrastructure, residents endure harsh desert conditions, especially in summer when temperatures exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes reaching as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Water and electricity are scarce, and basic resources must be brought in from the nearest town, Nyland, located about 4 miles away. Although many residents cherish their independence, Slab City has its share of challenges, particularly crime. With no formal law enforcement within its borders, the area has a reputation for drug use, theft, and violence. Serious crimes, including murders, have occurred, such as the tragic case of Poe Delwyn Black, a 21-year-old transgender man who was brutally killed in 2021. Another recent case involved the murder of Charles Onver Pierce, whose body was found in July 2024. The remote and unregulated nature of the community makes it difficult for authorities to monitor, leaving many conflicts to be resolved within the community itself. While state and federal laws technically still apply, enforcement is inconsistent, and residents often rely on self-policing and informal justice. Slab City's location also shapes its unique character. Surrounded by the Salton Sea to the west, the Chocolate Mountains to the east, and the Imperial Valley to the south, it feels isolated from the rest of the world. The desert climate is unforgiving, with scorching summers and almost no rainfall. Flash floods and dust storms occasionally add to the challenges, but the community has adapted, finding ways to endure the extreme environment. Economically, Slab City does not function like a traditional town. There are no businesses, factories, or major industries. Instead, residents find creative ways to earn money, often through art, odd jobs, and government assistance programs such as Social Security or disability benefits. Bartering is common, with people exchanging skills and goods to meet their daily needs. Tourism plays a role in the local economy as well, especially during the cooler months when visitors come to see Salvation Mountain, attend live performances at the range, or experience the off-grid lifestyle. Some residents give tours, sell handmade items, or rent out camping spots to travelers looking for an unconventional adventure. Despite its reputation as a place of absolute freedom, Slab City exists in a fragile balance between survival and chaos. For some, it is a sanctuary where they can live without interference. For others, it is a harsh and dangerous place with few opportunities for stability. As the community continues to evolve, questions remain about its future. Will it remain the last free place in America, or will increasing attention and external pressures force change upon it? Whatever the answer, Slab City remains a fascinating example of human resilience, creativity, and the desire to live on one's own terms. During certain times of the year, visitors bring in extra income, which helps support the community. People in Slab City have discussed ways to improve life and generate more money, but these ideas often face resistance. The community values its freedom and unique way of life, so any changes can feel like a threat. However, some interesting ideas have been suggested. One idea is expanding the use of solar energy since the desert gets plenty of sunlight. Some residents already have solar panels, and increasing their use could provide extra income while reducing dependence on outside resources. Another idea is growing food in the desert. Although the environment is harsh, small farms or permaculture projects could help people become more self-sufficient and even sell surplus produce. Some residents have also suggested cooperative businesses like community gardens, workshops, or small markets. These could create income opportunities while maintaining the strong sense of community that Slab City is known for. Getting healthcare in Slab City is difficult because of its remote location and lack of basic facilities. There are no hospitals or clinics, so when someone gets sick or injured, they must travel to towns like Niland or Brawley. For those without a working vehicle, this can be a major challenge. For minor health issues, people rely on themselves or neighbors, but for serious conditions, leaving the area is the only option. Another major issue is the lack of clean water and proper sanitation. Residents must bring in water from other towns, and most toilets are homemade, increasing the risk of diseases. Infections and illnesses caused by dirty water are common concerns. The intense summer heat makes things even worse, leading to dehydration and heat-related illnesses. Without a trash disposal system, garbage piles up, creating more health hazards. There have been efforts to provide medical help, such as mobile clinics and volunteer doctors, but these services are rare and limited. Occasionally, non-profits visit to offer medical care, but their support is not enough to address the bigger problem. While the community helps each other as much as possible, the lack of healthcare remains a serious challenge. Education is also a struggle in Slab City since there are no schools or learning centers. Families with children or anyone who wants to continue learning face difficulties. Most parents teach their kids at home or rely on informal education. Sometimes, community members share knowledge and resources, making learning more flexible, but there is no official curriculum or enough supplies. For adults, education focuses on practical survival skills. People teach each other through workshops, group lessons, or hands-on learning. Common topics include setting up solar panels, collecting water, and sustainable living. However, limited access to books, the internet, or trained teachers makes it harder to gain new skills. One possible solution is creating a community learning center or library, which could provide books, learning materials, and internet access. It could also serve as a space for workshops and skill-sharing events. If outside organizations or volunteers got involved, they could bring more resources and expertise. Mobile libraries, internet stations, or visiting teachers could also help improve education opportunities. Slab City has a unique culture and traditions that set it apart from other places. One of the most famous landmarks is Salvation Mountain. Located near California State Route 111, this colorful hill stands about 50 feet tall and is covered in layers of paint, concrete, and adobe, with Bible verses painted all over. It was created by Leonard Knight, a Slab City resident, and took him nearly 20 years to complete. In 2002, Salvation Mountain was recognized as a national folk art treasure. Interestingly, the current version is the second one built on the site. The original, started in 1984, collapsed in 1989 due to weak materials. Knight then rebuilt it using adobe mixed with straw for better stability. He passed away in 2014, but his creation remains an iconic symbol of Slab City. Another unique place in Slab City is East Jesus, an experimental art installation and living space. The name has no religious meaning, it's just an expression for a place in the middle of nowhere. In 2007, Charlie Russell left his tech job and moved to a junk-filled field, where he surrounded his 2 cars with sculptures, eventually naming the site East Jesus. After his passing in 2011, the Chasteras Foundation, a non-profit group, took over the project and continued adding new artwork. East Jesus is known for its ever-changing art, including live performances, music, photography, and especially sculptures. The harsh desert conditions cause the artwork to decay over time, making it a constantly evolving display. One volunteer described East Jesus and Slab City as a whole as having a salvage punk attitude, where art and structures are always shifting due to extreme weather and the many artists who contribute to the space. Another well-known attraction is The Range, an open-air nightclub with a stage, lights, amplifiers, and speakers. The seating consists of old couches and chairs. Every Saturday evening, locals and visitors gather for a talent show where anyone can perform, not just musicians. The venue is run by William Ammon, also known as Builder Bill, a longtime resident of Slab City. His wife, Robin Ammon, collected old prom dresses for residents to wear on special prom nights, since many never had the chance to attend one when they were younger. Despite its vibrant community events, Slab City is not the safest place to live, and security remains a concern. The future of Slab City is uncertain, with many discussions about what might happen next. One major issue is the potential sale of the land by the California State Lands Commission. The state owns the land, and any money from selling it is supposed to go toward the California State Teachers' Retirement System. If the land is sold, it could change Slab City completely, which worries many residents. To prevent this, some community members formed the Slab City Community Group Incorporated to explore the possibility of buying the land themselves. There are also efforts to improve living conditions, particularly through renewable energy. Since the desert receives plenty of sunlight, expanding solar power could provide more reliable electricity and reduce dependence on external resources. Some residents already use solar panels, and a larger system could improve life for the entire community. Another pressing issue is waste management. With no official trash collection, garbage builds up, and abandoned vehicles litter the area. Some residents have taken the initiative to clean up and encourage recycling, but a more organized waste management system would make a big difference in both environmental protection and public health. Slab City has attracted media attention, with various news outlets offering different perspectives on its way of life and struggles. The New York Times has explored topics like the community's self-made social structures, its rejection of government rules, and the deep poverty among residents. Articles also highlight how living off the grid defines the culture of Slab City. The Los Angeles Times has covered similar issues, focusing on the contrast between seasonal visitors, known as snowbirds, and permanent residents. The paper discusses gender roles, the appeal of a lawless lifestyle, and the difficulties of accessing basic necessities like clean water and healthcare. Anthropologists have studied Slab City as well, noting that while it rejects traditional systems, a social hierarchy still exists. They also point out that snowbirds play a key role in keeping the local economy afloat. Media coverage often highlights these contradictions, how Slab City offers both freedom and hardship. Several documentaries have also been made about the community. The Last Free Place in America, produced by Vice, follows different Slab City residents and shows the highs and lows of their daily lives. It touches on the lack of basic services, extreme weather, and the strong sense of belonging among residents. Slam Unity, a short documentary filmed in 2021, captures the diverse and creative spirit of the community. The filmmakers were impressed by how resourceful residents are, using whatever they have to survive. They saw Slab City as an example of human adaptability. Another documentary, Why is Slab City the Last Free Place in America?, takes a deep dive into the lives of its residents, exploring their backgrounds, struggles, and hopes. It highlights the stark contrast between Slab City and nearby military bases, showing how the two worlds sometimes interact. Some well-known figures have also shared their experiences in Slab City. Filmmaker Ranger Rick spent 2 weeks living there and documented his experience for his YouTube channel. He described the community as a gathering of unconventional people who value independence, self-expression, and simple pleasures. Despite its rough reputation, he found a diverse mix of residents drawn to an alternative lifestyle. Broadcaster Ben Fogle visited Slab City for his TV show and described it as an extraordinary place disconnected from the outside world. He worried that too much attention might bring unwanted tourism and government interference. He saw the community as a modern-day Babylon, where survival takes priority over concerns about the outside world. DNA, a gender-fluid artist from San Diego, chose to live in Slab City because of its freedom from societal restrictions. In an interview, they explained that the lack of rules allowed them to live authentically and without judgment. Slab City remains a unique social experiment, offering complete freedom but also great challenges. Its future remains uncertain, but its residents continue to embrace their unconventional way of life.